I had a very brief sort of flick through your conversation with Paul Gilbert. And he's obviously got lots of interesting things to say, and just a charismatic figure as he is. But I just wanted to see what your take was on him, and like, as you know, what you took from your conversation with him.
Well, it comes back to, I mean, I've been a big fan of Paul Gilbert. Who doesn't admire Paul Gilbert to some extent? But my partner would say that I'm obsessed with him, and I have been obsessed with him, and I've soaked up his influence in my playing in many different ways, and followed him throughout the years. And the first thing I'd say is that he's still excited, or at least seems it, about guitar, and he's in his 50s, still playing, still exploring guitar on his terms. Paul's often seen as kind of a quirky individual because he's often, after the interview, he sent me a link to a Britney Spears song because of the chorus chords. I think he's just excited about stuff. He's just excited about great writing and stuff like that. So he's got that kind of that childlike curiosity, which I think that's like the elixir of everlasting life, I think, for musicians, is curiosity. I think life in general. As soon as you think you know everything, you're done. What is it to be like a child again, where everything, even the sight of blue paper, is exciting? And I get that kind of energy from Paul, where it's just like, what's going to happen? And the curiosity, I think also just he didn't say it in this way, but he was talking about writing, and when things feel difficult, just take a break. That's the other side, the kindness thing, and the reality check of actually what we're doing here. We're playing music. Well, the word there is play. What does that mean to play? What does it mean to actually explore, rather than do this academic exercise, and this is this scale over this chord, and it's this subdivision, and it has to be this way. What's actually playing? Like the guitar, especially when you've been playing for many years, becomes this geometric grid, and the barriers start to become this, solid thing. But actually, to play with a guitar, it's just string and wood, and we're playing it this way. But what if you do something different? What can you change? I think I heard you talking, I've forgotten his name. Was it the guitarist from Ginger? I think you shared a quote from him, and he said,
"Oh, so this it was Omer who actually, I don't know if the guitarist from Ginger still plays his guitars, but he's a luthier actually. I think I know what you're referring to. Yeah.
I think he said Ginger on the thing.
Yeah, he used to make the guitars for Roman, I believe it is, who plays in.
Oh, I see. Sorry, my bad.
I know.
I'm uneducated there. But he was talking about, if you're really good at drawing with your right hand, try drawing with your left. Little thing, and that's just that aspect brings out it just changes one thing, which gives you a different thing. So from my conversation with Paul Gilbert, he was talking about how he was playing drums, how he was playing slide, how he was singing melodies, how he was trying different gear to get different things. So there's a playfulness, and I know myself that I had all my, especially in my going back 10 years, I had my presets all saved, and my guitars were all set up the same, and everything had to be the same, and I had to warm up the same, and everything had to be perfect. Then I'd get to a gig, expectations blown, and go straight back to the start of this conversation. It's because I had such a stiff idea and parameter of what I could do with what I got, that it made me unable to express and play. So I think actually changing things up, keeping it fresh, not having a fixed idea of who you are, what kind of player you are, what you think it should be, because there's no future. The future is created by what you're doing now and how you think now. You're kind of, whatever you do now is kind of putting forward, 90 days time, am I going to be a better or worse player based upon what I do today? And that's not just what you do physically, but that's your mental attitude. Very important, because that's where it happens. The playing can happen. I'm not worried about muscle memory and knowledge. I'm worried about how can I keep this interesting. And I think that's what Paul kind of imparted quite well in that conversation in his own unique way.
Mm.